couple weeks ago, we featured a park on this channel called Coaster Country USA, and you guys were absolutely in love with this park and this creator. During that park spotlight, I said I was going to dig up and see if Fogplaya, the creator of Coaster Country USA, to see if they had done any other parks and submitted them. To my surprise, and very excited to announce, they have in fact created another park, and it was the first park they made before Coaster Country USA. But this one has some features and some standout coasters that make this exceptional, and I cannot believe that this was their first ever creation sent in. As you can see from the B-roll, we have an inverted coaster dueling together, one on top, one on the bottom, a very unique synchronized dance. That's got to be the star attraction of this theme park, and that alone makes this a worthy adventure to embark further in. But that's not the end of it. We have wooden coasters, giant strata coasters in the back, gas lower coasters off to the side. This park looks absolutely sensational with tons of different attractions for us to check out in here today's episode of Park Spotlight. Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Park Spotlight. Today we're going to be looking at Mundi Historia Manor, created by the one and only Fogplaya, a new fan favorite here on the show. And here they say, here's a small park I've put a bit of time into. The idea behind it was historically educational park with multiple themed lands: ancient Egypt, colonial America, restoration Japan, and Soviet Eastern Europe. I also wanted to base it around an old stately manor. I just visited Alton Towers before starting work on this. However, I make parks. I also want to switch things up with the terraforming and park geography. I chose this city map because I never built a park in that theme before. However, the size meant there's still a bit of squishage in some of the areas, but if you wear a helmet during your time in the park, I'm sure you'll be fine. And then he lists the whole backstory on the workshop description that you guys can check out. Links are down in the description below. And I'm just now seeing here that there is please find park billboard images here. So I'm gonna reload the park and make sure that these custom images are set up, because if this is a educational park, maybe some of these billboards are important to the backstory and lore. So I'm gonna go do that, and we'll begin with the park tour. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Another Fogplaya amazing park. Kind of cool that we're featuring his previous park after the last one we just featured. Everybody loved Coaster Country USA, so this is definitely going to be a good time. But just know that this one was created long before Coaster Country USA. But it's also very fun to see like the growth of this builder. As we were all so blown away with what they did with Coaster Country USA, we can expect a lot of amazing builds in this here park, but also an early kind of evolution of where they began. And I love seeing that. It's like a look back in time, but seeing how well this creator does things, I have high hopes for this. I mean, as you can see from that coaster right there, it's going to be an experience nonetheless. Might not top Coaster Country USA, but it's definitely going to be a good time. As they mentioned, they wanted to pick this biome because they never built in this park size. And while this is an end-to-end, quote-unquote, sort of mega park, the borders of this sandbox are actually much smaller than the others. While you can expand the borders in sandbox mode, which is the same thing we did for our Project Planko, I don't think that this creator knew about that or actually did that. So they built it as far as you possibly can inside the borders of this park. So in theory, it is an end-to-end mega park because you can't really build or fit any more than what has been here unless you kind of exaggerate the borders by using the scenario mode editor, which we did for our Project Planko. All right, the Guerrilla. We're getting things started with a coaster. I mean, I'm going to take the priority pass. I got lost in a few of their queues before. And it's even though it's a priority pass, it is quite the walk, if I say so myself. Wow. Yeah, very excited for Fogplaya's creations. This seems to be the only other creation in the inbox other than Coaster Country USA. If you haven't seen that park, I highly recommend it. Links will be down in the description below to the park we featured from this creator 2 weeks ago. So it's a giant inverted boomerang. Here's a look at all the stats if you'd like to see them. 500 meters in track length, 73 miles per hour, 9 inversions on this bad boy. And they were breaking all sorts of records with their last park. Some of the most airtime in any of the coasters I've ever seen in coaster history. Some of the most inversions, some of the longest coasters. I mean, they were pulling out all the stops with 22 somewhat coasters in that park. So I still expect big things out of this. 9 inversions on a boomerang is a lot. So kicking things off with a bang. I think this is going to be a great boomerang. So let's check it out. Wow, freaking way! A very dynamic and interesting layout on that there boomerang with some great environmental theming as well. Did not disappoint at all. It's rare that the boomerang is very fun and interesting in my opinion. This is definitely stepping it up. They did create a boomerang in their Coaster Country USA. I think they did a dueling one. So they kind of took what they did here and then just took it to the next level, if I remember that correctly. That's a way to start off the park spotlight. I am getting a little bit lost. I feel a little, they said I needed to wear a helmet for this park because it's so condensed. Definitely can feel that here, but it's going to start to open up as we get to the center here. Look at this. So there are multiple themed areas as they described a whole lore breakdown on their workshop. And they wanted to go for a little bit of history using different locations from around the world and different times. And with that being said, they have the custom images giving us a little bit of lore. So you guys give it a pause there and give that a read if you want some more lore there. Very cool. But we're going to hit up all these coasters one after another. They have this Egypt area here that caught my eye. Pretty rare thing to see in Planet Coaster, but I personally really like it. What you could do with all the sand painting. This is a really cool pyramid as well. I like the blocks that they use for this. Very rarely have I seen interesting and interactive pyramids done in Planko, but this is looking fantastic. Really well done. We have a queue. No big sign here. I can definitely see the evolution of this builder between this park and the last one we featured. One thing I can note is they added so much ambience in their Coaster Country USA. There was music and speakers everywhere, and really cool signage for all of the coasters. So while some of that stuff is missing here, absence of that being here, you could tell that this builder made this park, goes, I could do better. This is what it's missing. This, and that. And then they incorporated all their things. Nonetheless, still an amazing park. Here's the ASP. What are we dealing with here? It's a single rail. Ooh, I love single rail coasters. Almost 2 kilometers in length here. And 92 miles per hour with 6 airtime counts on this. Whoops. We're going to go track view because it's a single rail and I really like to absorb the track perspective of a single rail coaster. So let's check this out. Holy Toledos! Now you guys can see why I love the single rail so much, especially when it's done so well like that. You can basically feel the wind in your face as we're ripping along at 92 miles per hour. Good googly moogly. What was the biggest drop? That was an 85-meter drop. That lift hill felt extremely high, and there's no other way to get it up to 92 miles an hour unless you have a lift at that size. Now, a single rail coaster is generally one of the hardest to get smooth because of the track, the nature of the track, and I think that was incredible how fast that coaster was and how smooth the layout was, not to mention the visuals and the theming, twisting around the pyramids the way it did, some near misses in there. Beautiful scenery. Like the way the lift hill at the top there was facing directly at the city. They wanted to use the city map, and then they emphasized their choice of choosing that by having the lift hill facing that city to give us a nice view of everything. Very smart design on that. Like I said, this creator is absolutely amazing, and it's, even though this is their first park ever, it is above and beyond a lot of the stuff we've seen throughout the history of this channel, and it's a very good start, and it explains why the Coaster Country USA was as good as it was. They took everything they did so well here and improved on it, and it's great to see that. So Fogplaya, I'm definitely going to send this guy a message on Steam saying we featured your parks. Come make us another park, please. We need a sequel, a trilogy. Doing them out of order, but hey, we're doing them. So here we go. We have the Nile River Rapids. That's cool. Smaller in length here, but it is a river rapids. It's a chill experience. Let's cut to one when it's ready. So for the river rapids, I usually like to go with this perspective here, but it's pretty rare that we have guests in the park. This is awesome. With the last one that we featured, the park was so big, we had to kick all the guests out. But this is a pretty nice sized park. While it is end-to-end and sprawling, there's tons of details, tons of attractions. Still running really nicely to a point where we actually have a good amount of guests. I haven't even checked what the guest count actually was. But a lot of these mega parks these days, we're the only one. We get the VIP treatment where we're the only people in the actual entire theme park. So it's pretty rare that we get to ride a river rapids with all the smiling guests on here and the spinning aspect to it. So might as well enjoy this here today. This kid's glasses are amazing. And there's a look at the single rail coaster. We're going underneath it here. Wonder how many trains he had running on that one. It's a pretty long coaster. Pretty amazing at that. We're sunken pretty low in here. We can't really get a whole lot of visuals. I'm wondering if I should pull the camera up a little bit, but pretty interesting integration, I would say. Here comes the coaster. Oh! Zipping by at 92 miles an hour. That is incredible. Absolutely amazing. Nice scenic ride. It'd be kind of cool if there was some pathways there where the guests are walking by and some bridges. And then put some water guns on the paths. Give these give these people a little bit of a squirt. And there's the giant inverted boomerang there on the left. Yeah, I do wish we were like up a little slightly higher. Let's see if we can pop this out a little bit. There we go. Although this doesn't actually work that well either because the camera goes in the ground. Still pretty good. Some pretty good interaction here. I gotta mute my mic, I'm getting a call. All right, we're back. I had to end the recording just briefly there as I got a call midway through that ride. A little bit of an exciting phone call. I mean, a lot of exciting phone call. I think I could share with you guys. So, yeah. Some of you may know I recently moved to British Columbia, Kelowna from the West Coast. It's only three-hour difference, but I was looking into Bastet's Bumpy ride. Let's check this out. Wait, is this for... Oh, it's a little car ride. I was recently looking into buying a new computer. Now, the computer I'm using is still pretty good. I can run basically every game I've ever played on like high or ultra. But the newer computers can allow me... The newer hardware can allow me to not only run Planet Coaster at like maybe 10-15 frames more, because the engine's quite old. You can't really throw too much power at this game, but I do know Batch has a very, very high-end computer with like a 4090 and i9 14,000 series and all that stuff, lots of RAM. And he does get like 10-15 frames per second more. And when you're only getting 20 frames per second on a park, it makes a massive difference. It's nearly double. So the good news is that call was... the long story short is I can't get computers out here, only where I came from. So it's like 3 hours away from me. So the place that I built my computer at, I was going to order one online, but the shipping was like $1,000. And it didn't even come with the hard drives I needed. I was looking at the OTK Starforge computers, but the bill was insanely high. So I built a similar computer to the Starforge Creator Elite PC setup, but better. It has a 2 terabyte NVMe with like 8,000 processing power, transfer power. I don't really know. But then I got a 4 terabyte one as well, and an extra 8 terabyte drive for storage. So it's the same setup: 4090 GPU, i9 13900K series, all the good stuff. And in order to get that PC, it was a headache. My buddy had to go in and put the deposit in for me because he lives near the computer place where I moved from, and he was planning to visit me this weekend, so he has to pay for it and bring it up here. So he just called me saying he made the deposit, everything's good to go, the PC will be built and ready for this Friday. So at the time of you guys watching this, the new computer might just be in my hands. So hopefully it makes it up here in one piece. It's going to take me probably a week to install all my software, get it going, and that sort of stuff. So it won't be right away. But the good news is, future park spotlights will have a higher frame rate, and I'll definitely be trying to do 4K coaster spotlights, maybe even 4K park spotlights. I have to experiment and see how heavy it is on the editing and, you know, the data. They are going to be massive files. So maybe not parks, but definitely coasters. I have some ideas for that. So pretty excited because it'll improve the quality of park and coaster spotlights. The return of park and coaster spotlights. There's big things I want to do, and big mega parks that I was unable to feature in the past. So anything that was unbearable on my computer before will now be good, and you guys can expect to see some crazy good park spotlights in the future. And parks like this will run just butter smooth, and that's gonna be great. We got the Revolution Hotel over here, so I just want to let you guys know that because you guys are all you guys are big fans of the Park Spotlight series, so just expect them to get better, assuming everything goes well. So hopefully everything works out just fine, and the PC is great, and that is the best I can hope for. And I'm excited, super excited. Means a lot of good things to come, and we still have a ton of great parks in the inbox, like this one here today. All right, let's move on forward. I keep walking against the guests. I'm like, where are they going? Where? Why? I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Oh, it's the Battle Bay. Let's go check out the Battle Bay. What do we have here? It looks like a boat ride. Boat ride Armada. I wonder if this should be something I should be checking out at nighttime, but it is a water ride. But I think we could probably try it at night, just to switch it up a little bit. We see some lighting here. It looks pretty atmospheric. The Battle Bay boat ride. Let's check it out. Probably sit in the middle seat for this guy. Load everybody up, and off we go. Pausing here for this little drop. That's hilarious. I think it auto brakes on any incline, maybe. Right? Is it gonna do it again here? No. Interesting. Yeah, the lighting's really cool here. We've seen something similar to this in the Coaster Country USA, and they did a shooting ride in this kind of environment. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, while this park is a little bit on the old side, and so is Coaster Country USA, you guys love them, so we're going to try to reach out to Fogplaya and say, hey, join the Discord, join the community, get back on Planet Coaster, because we need more of your parks. Because he's doing an absolutely amazing job. And it's oftentimes when a park spotlight gets featured, somebody's park gets featured, they get reinvigorated and motivated to go build another park. And I really hope that's the case with Fogplaya, because I'm in love with this park and their last one that they made, we featured 2 weeks ago. So come back to us, Fogplaya. Yeah, really cool atmosphere here. Usually these boat rides are used as like underground dark rides that take you on a bit of adventure. This is a little bit more traditional, kind of has that like log flume atmosphere. Not much of a dark ride. The lift hill is slow though. We're gonna speed it up here. Holy moly. The lift hill is longer than the queue. Fun little animatronics there. Yeah, I could definitely see like the quality bar from this one to the last park they did is just like beyond amazing. How far this creator has evolved in their detailing. This is still really, really great though. I would say this is still like advanced expert quality, and then what they just jumped to like just raise the bar to legendary masterful work. It's really cool. Humble beginnings of the Fogplaya right here today. Amazing. The spooky, ghostly green teal here. Love it. Yeah, the sound here, it's like, there's almost no sound effects in comparison to the other park. Whoops. So just hats off to Fogplaya on the evolution of audio. That is super impressive to me when people manage to make a fully audio-filled park front to back. Not easy to do. Tucking the speakers in and setting the trigger at events and, you know, remembering to put the audio cues in certain areas. Often forgot about, but for me, it is definitely one of those elements that makes the park experience. You know, it's another sensory overload to experience, and not everybody remembers to do it or do it well. But Fogplaya has certainly learned to do that, as we saw from their last park. All right, where are we headed to next? I think we could stay at nighttime for a little bit here. One thing they've done really well is the lighting. Might be like pretty saturated, but it's still there. It's still pretty fun. What is the gumbo? Little whirly rig over here. Nobody wants to go on it. Just 3 people in a bucket there. Hey, did we go up an exit here today? I don't know. I think I'm on like 4 or 5 parks now that I have not gone up an exit. We got a boat ride. We could probably just do a little daytime boat ride. Why not? It looks like it's a actual transport ride, so that we could treat it like a boat ride experience and just do a 2 times speed putts around. Enjoy the environmental boat ride, everybody. This here looks like it's going to be my favorite part of the park. We're building up to it. We're saving the best for last, but that is the coolest dueling coaster. Very rarely have I seen this done before, where you have like an inverted underneath another coaster. And in this case, they did... Wait, I think it might be a... There's definitely a flying coaster there. Maybe not an inverted, but... Might be like a floorless... corkscrew coaster on top of a flying coaster, which is still really cool. I think I've seen it was Fricker was the first person to do it, and I think he did an inverted coaster with a stand-up coaster, and that was like really, really cool. Nothing have been done like it. The way they stayed together the whole course. This one's a little bit different because it breaks apart and is more like a dueling coaster. They go their separate ways and then reconnect, but it still looks really impressive how they pulled that off. Really, really cool. So this is the 3rd stop, and then it takes us back to where we started. Little party boat here. Really cool. Yeah, considering this was their first ever park, ooh, boy, is this a really, really solid, outstanding park. Was this the... I think we might have gotten off there. I'm a little confused, but that should be good enough. We got to experience it a little bit. Now let's make our way back in. I feel it's hard because everything's like so dense, and they did say like we required a helmet in this park because of the density. It is a little claustrophobic to a point where it's hard to spot the landmarks. And like we just came out of here and it's like, whoa, where am I? I couldn't really see anything from the distance, but now that I'm here, holy moly, what a change of atmosphere. Really cool. Let's go on the Ramashka. Oh, it's not a coaster. It's a flat ride. There's a look at it there. We got a Ferris wheel here. Let's walk down this area here and see if we can get to... Oh, bumper cars. Wow, they got everything back here. It's got like a bit of a... Give me Last of Us vibes here. Everything's overgrown and abandoned. It's pretty cool. And they got this industry tech. The Barghest, or I guess it's like Gaslauer, going through the smokestacks there. It's a pretty cool design. Oh, here we go. Atom-soaked city. There's some lore right there if you guys want to pause it and give that a read. Good googly moogly. and the Meltdown. Wow. So we're gonna go right up the smokestack. What a long queue going all the way around the backside of the building. Meow! Holy moly! There's the whole park is in queue here. By the way, how many guests do we have? Oh my god. There's 9,000 guests in this park. And I was saying that, like, it ran pretty good. I'm shocked. I don't think I've ever visited a park with that many guests in there. I usually kick them out if there's that many. Considering we're still getting a pretty decent frame rate. Just look at the coaster stats, by the way. 1.3 kilometers. Pretty high max vertical G-forces with 7.3. 12 inversions. Let's get on this. Oh, where am I? I think we'll do a track view for this. I think I might want to ride this one twice. Once at night. Oh, I think I screwed it up. Let me switch. There we go. This one's in the station. And off we go. Holy good googly moogly. That was actually pretty awesome. Let's do this one again at nighttime. Seems like there's a lot of effort gone into the nighttime perspective. That's not the train. Where are we? Oh, this one. Yeah, the launching, I can't tell if we're launching upwards or forwards. I'm so discombobulated in here. It's freaking amazing. Holy crap, that is amazing. Wow, that's not easy to do a coaster through an atmosphere like this. I was so upside down. I should have read the lore myself, but I just probably like a month or two ago watched the Chernobyl series again, and definitely this type of reactor core, I think this is where the reactor core plates blew up in the Chernobyl area. There's a lot of scenes that look very accurate to what a nuclear power plant would look like. I don't think this is exactly the Chernobyl one because I don't think that they used these types of what do you call it, reactors. These ones, the enclosure like this was different, this is the safer way to do it, but still really cool depiction. The lighting was phenomenal. Yeah, very interesting idea as well to run a coaster through an industrial building sector like this. It's amazing, absolutely amazing, really well done. Holy moly, this is insane. We're gonna head over to what appears to be my favorite area of the park, and undoubtedly one of the coolest coasters I've seen in a very, very, very long time. And this dueling madness here. We can see them at the top of the lift there. So, yeah, there's definitely a flying coaster on the bottom. And then a corkscrew type coaster here. So cool. Whew. That definitely takes some patience to line those up and also have them go off on their own. You can see there's a little bit of a separation there. They're parting ways. The Samurai. This is a flat ride. I'm good on riding that. People are coming down this way. Am I going up an exit? Doesn't count. This one wouldn't count. There's a nature walk here. I feel like that's an exit. This creator did a great job at putting no entry signs in their next park that we saw. So that's really cool. This is an exit, but I'm just peeking. Okay. Aha. Okay, here we go. This is probably one of the two dueling coasters. We could skip line here. We're jumping over. Yeah, there's so many guests in the park. I forgot, I was on a tangent about guests in the park, and then I lost my train of thought. That I've never seen this many guests in a park ever. And I was actually like, when I was doing the Park Beyond series, I got up to 9,000 guests in the park. And I was like, this is impressive. I don't even think I've ever seen this in Planet Coaster before. And in fact, you can actually make a pretty big park with a lot of stuff in it and still get 9,000 guests and run it decently here in Planet Coaster. This park is proof of that. 1.2 kilometers, 63 miles per hour is the fastest speeds here. 9 inversions, 2 airtime counts. This one's going up the lift, so why don't we get on that one there? I think we can do a track view for this. I would like to see a cinematic, but I don't know if that would work. But I definitely want to pull out and see both the coasters together at some point here. So we're probably going to ride this multiple times. Oh my goodness gracious, that is so masterfully crafted. I love everything about that. I want to jump over to the blue one, and then, yeah. Then we'll, Mizuchi? We'll go into a orbit view and see how that looks when they're both kind of dueling together. See if I can pull out the camera just a little bit on that one. We can watch them both do their dance in the sky. So here we go. We get the flying coaster. Here's a look at the stats if you'd like to see them. And we're going to get off. I think for this one, we have to kind of do the seat view and sort of simulate the flight just a little bit. So why don't we do that? And off we go. Wow, that is super cool. I think for a bit of a chase view, it's gonna probably work best from the perspective of this coaster. I'm trying to think what would be, maybe orbit. I'll try to follow the coaster in an orbit fashion. Let's see this. Fingers crossed that I can keep the camera on these two at all times. Let's go. Wow, that is so cool. The high five under the bridge. I love it. Wow, that is so well designed. That's amazing. Having them break apart like this and then rejoin, I think is like the coolest element, because I have seen coasters that stay together the whole time, top and bottom like that. But I like this more because I think it takes a little bit of extra skill, because the flying coaster does come and do flying coaster elements, while the corkscrew coaster does things like a cobra roll and does its own inversions and stuff. So they're both doing the elements that those coasters are designed to do and do well on their own when they're separated, and then they come back together and create this cool harmony. It's just amazing. And aesthetically, I mean, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love the little derpy dragon on top. It's fun. That is a lot of fun. I mean, this whole park, just this coaster alone is worth the park spotlight in my opinion. It is the selling point for me, and it did not disappoint. Absolutely love everything about that. We got some sort of crazy sea kraken thing over here. Very cool. And a little flat ride that tries to escape the Kraken, I guess. That's amazing. Oh, we got a little kiddie coaster, another junior dragon themed coaster here. So why don't we check this out? And I see a wooden coaster in the back as well. And then that might bring us back to the front of the park. I will definitely check the ride list to make sure we didn't forget anything. Here's the junior dragon. If you want to see the stats, I'm sure they're nothing crazy. This one's going up the lift hill. So we'll probably try to ride the back of this maybe. Yeah, let's give this a go. For a junior coaster, that's actually surprisingly pretty intense. I really like that, and there's a bit of that exploration element. This creator does not forget their junior coasters, which I'm a fan of, and does them to an exceptional quality. As we would have saw from Coaster Country USA, they did one of a ghost theme with a Ghostbusters style to it, and I was really impressed and commented on how much I loved the junior coaster there. And this one as well. I think the Ghoster one was like an evolution of what we just rode there. And I love to see that from creators, like putting that emphasis and the love and care into the junior attractions, not just like the mega coasters. So yeah, I love to see it. Really well done there. The Witchy Waltz. And this should take us up to the wooden coaster. Looks like this is intended to be like a little night area, a little bit on the spooky side. Is this the... Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, we should find our way to a wooden coaster here. Wow, it really stretches out from end to end on the park. Definitely some traversal length on this one here. I like the integration as well. All right. Here we are. The gallows. That's a drop tower. Nobody wants to go on it. This is probably the entrance to the drop tower, and this is the entrance to the Horseman. The wooden coaster. This might be intended for night. I think we could ride it at both day and night. I love riding a good wooden coaster. And the coasters in this park have been exceptionally well, so I definitely don't mind that. 1.3 kilometers in length, a little bit of air time on this one. 64 miles per hour. Pretty good stats overall. So we should probably go seat view on this. And here we go. Wow, okay, that's pretty awesome. Let's take a look at the nighttime here, as it does kind of pass through the witchy forest. We might have some... Yeah, we do. Ooh, look at that. Coming out of the church here. Let's check out the Horseman at night. We'll probably go the back of the train this time, because why not? Whip around. Let's go. Might eat a couple branches along the way, but definitely worth it. Oh my god, that's a great coaster layout there, and Fogplaya doesn't slouch on the woodies at all, as we saw from their other park they made, that they did 2 wooden coasters. One wasn't enough. They made one really awesome coaster, and then one that was like triple the length, and this one here is actually quite big. Look at this. Wow, that is amazing. So, wow, while we traversed around the whole park, it's definitely a hefty park. While it does have the lake dividing it in half, still a lot of ground to cover, still pretty amazing. Oh, we forgot the most important part. They said they wanted to build the whole thing around a mansion because they just came back from Alton Towers and that sort of thing. Oh no, maybe we did go up here. There was a lift, so the gondola takes you from the park entrance all the way up into the mansion here, and then this is kind of like their centerpiece of the whole park, the sky ride. There it is, and I wonder if there's a viewpoint or a vista point that we can get to. This is probably the exit. I'm gonna go up it. This one doesn't count. Oh, that's an engineer. It's an exit. As I want to find a staircase that takes us to the balcony, but I guess there is none, because it would be kind of cool to have a viewpoint or vista point up here where the guests could get up and then take a look at the beautiful park from here. We got an observatory back there, the giant inverted boomerang, lots of big focal points here, big landmarks. There was another drop tower. Where is it? There was another one right there. So a lot of big high rides. Was this 85 meters or something? That's quite high. Yeah, 85 meters is the biggest drop on that coaster. It's amazing. So this is the humble beginnings of Fogplaya, the master builder that brought us Coaster Country USA, and I am just blown away. This park alone is absolutely incredible. I cannot believe that you got 9,300 guests in this park and did not melt my computer. Still running pretty decently, and they went from having the most guests in a park that I've ever seen to absolutely zero in their other park, which is great. Okay, I'm gonna quickly check the ride list and make sure we didn't miss anything, so give me a second here. Yeah, it takes a minute to go through the ride list because these creators like to name every single ride, including the flat rides, so you don't know from the ride list what is a flat ride, what is not, and there's a lot of them to go through, but I have double checked and we have in fact hit everything in the park. I missed the bobsled coaster in the previous park we featured of them, so I just wanted to double check, but the ride list on that park would have been insanely long, as there was over 25 coasters and rides combined. It was insane, not even including flat rides, so I did end up missing one. My apologies for that, but we made sure to hit them all here today, and what an amazing park experience. Look at this. Some really cool perspectives, some great shots. The works of what is now, in my opinion, a legendary builder and legendary creator in this community, showing us how it's done, making unique and innovative rides. They've outdone themselves even past this. If you didn't see Coaster Country USA, check the links down in the description below for that. If you like this park, Coaster Country from the same creator is probably 10 times as awesome as this, but I thought this was absolutely outstanding. End-to-end park here on the city map is just phenomenal. Really, really good stuff. Love that I found an extra Fogplaya creation here, as after seeing their other creation, I was super excited to see their name come up one more time in my inbox, and fingers crossed that I see their name show up again in the future. And if you are watching this today, Fogplaya, and you decide to come back and make us another park, just know that you will go to the front of the line. When I see your name, you're getting a feature 100%. And hopefully, if you do that, I'll have a new computer set up by then, and we can show that in the highest quality, maybe even 4K. We'll have to see how that goes, but definitely the smoothest possible experience that I could deliver for whatever they have to offer in the future. Really solid park here. What did you guys think today from Fogplaya? Leave your comments down below for this creator, so we can so they can find the comments, read the comments, and get inspired to come back and make us more amazing parks like this. So definitely leave them a message down below. And if you enjoyed the video, do give it a like, subscribe, and if you like what we do here on the channel, come check out our Patreon program. Links are down in the description below. And that is going to do it for me in today's episode of Park Spotlight. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye now.